Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Cut Nice 50, and welcome to One on One with Cut Nice 50. Today, man, we got another amazing interview featuring my girl, Lana. I put her social media right here so y'all can like, comment, subscribe to her channel, watch her full story of her childhood trauma, which she shared with us today. It was an amazing interview. We went over so much from relationships to faith, to personal belief, to goals and future desires. There's things she want to accomplish for her and her young children out there. We all know that it's hard the last couple of years after COVID. Trying to be financially free, trying to find out a motivation or stay inspired to help inspire others on their journey, especially those who have went through childhood traumas. Lana goes in, and I believe she does one-on-one coaching. So I put her social media platforms up there. Y'all check her out. If you experience childhood trauma, you need somebody to talk to. She is a big believer in counseling. She also counsels others. And we was blessed to have a sit down with her. So y'all stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Also, we have another amazing interviews with a young lady we call Sam and a young lady we call Coach Naya or Miss Reed. So y'all stay tuned for that. Don't forget to join the channel. We appreciate all y'all for y'all support. Let's go ahead. We're building a community, a faith-based community, a community of respect, and a community of understanding and healing. It's your boy Cutting Ice and with that, let's go. Hey family, welcome to the channel. It's your boy Cutting Ice and I have a special guest, Miss Lana right here. She's blessed me with her presence. She's gonna share a story. Very talented, acting, modeling. You see the face card, you see the hair. I'm pretty sure she did it herself because she's so talented. TikTok, Instagram, you name it. I'm gonna put all our channels out there, and then I want y'all to bless her. Reach out to her. We got some stuff we're gonna try to help her with. Tasha K, if you end up watching this video, make sure you reach out to her so you can hear her story. And just bless this young lady. She's went through a lot, and I want to go ahead and share and introduce herself and just about her passions before we get into these questions. But when I say she's an amazing individual, just hearing her story, and I think the title is called My Dad Warned Me About Him. It brought tears to my eye, and y'all already know I'm not a emotional guy, but I felt the pain. I felt the hard emotions coming from the healing aspect to the belief aspect of it. Until a young lady who's full of so much talent and gift that people try to dim a light. So I just commend her for speaking out on her bravery and commend her for actually helping share her story with the audience. How we doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah,
Yes.
doing pretty good.
So you are in Tennessee now. You've been blessed with two young children. You like yoga. You do hair. You do so many other things. So let's just start off with your goals. What you want to do in the next, say, 2 years.
The next 2 years, well, I would like to be in like a bigger city,
Hmm.
because I'm from like a very, very small town.
Hmm.
So yeah, moving is most definitely on the list.
Oh.
And just getting more out there,
Hmm.
as far as like networking, connecting with other people, and just taking everything that I do just I guess like to the next level,
Okay.
or just
Okay.
like yeah.
So you 24 now. Um, two children. You in Tennessee. Which city is reaching for you a lot? Which one you want to be in? You know, because what you want to do. Like I said, I call Atlanta the woman's state. It's nothing but powerful, amazing young ladies down here. Myself, when I first came here, that's all I seen. I knew like 10 doctors, lawyers, business owners. The women pretty much run the city, no matter what the media tries to make it seem like. This is what I found out as far as networking wise. I know other states do have some stuff, Florida, but then you go to the expensive realm. And so it's like what you want to achieve. That's not too far from you. And I don't know if you got family on the West Coast, but I went to the West Coast, but it's not genuine for me. I'm from South Carolina, from the South, so I like more interactions and just genuine people who actually want to see you succeed, and not people who want to latch on and
No.
don't want to see you actually prosper in life. Period. So that's what I seen. But any state that you got your top like three states you want to go.
Top three states. Um, I would say Florida.
Hmm.
Um, mm, I don't know really much outside of that. Florida. I never thought like top three state.
Yeah. So where you went at so far? I know you're in Tennessee. Any other states or just
I went to, well, we used to live in North Carolina when I was like
okay?
itty bitty.
Where
Uh,
in North Carolina?
Salem.
Salem. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
West of Salem. So that's near Six Flags, right?
I think so. I don't remember much about it. I was
Okay.
really little
Yeah,
bitty.
I think that's near Six Flags because I think I used to go through there. My son stays in North Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. That's like I said, another hour and a half. We hump through, but North Carolina is a good place. Uh, Certain areas, probably where you was at, ain't nothing out there either. You know, now every place is building up, but as far as the industry, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's good places, and I mean, it's gonna always change. Like I said, your talents for what you do. Like I said, I see an acting in your future. It can be tricky at times, but naturally, I see an author in you just putting it on paper, getting the right people around you to actually help you do that. And it doesn't take much because you already know your story. You know what you want to put in there, and just revising. It's a little extra work just revising and putting it down. But I see a lot of talent in you. So I'm gonna just start with this questionnaire, so I won't keep rambling on because I'm excited to have you on the show. Um, I say, is your definition of trauma? I know a lot of people have it differently, but your definition of trauma personally to you.
My personal definition of trauma is anything that a person goes through that it leaves like a huge impact on like the way they interact, how they
Mhm.
move through life and stuff like that. Um, it could even be something like really simple.
Yeah,
It just sticks with them.
yeah. It's going to change and shift your perspective on anything. So it don't matter. It can be like you say, somebody scare you. Now you scared to even have the lights off. You know what I mean? So that's what they call for us when I was overseas, PTSD. Something. It can be
Yeah,
minimum. It couldn't even happen to you, but happen to somebody else, it
right.
kind of traumatized them. So
Yeah.
that was a great definition. So, what would you like to share to the audience about your trauma in your childhood experiences?
Um, like the specific situation or like what I learned from it. Mm.
I say either one. You can say one specific situation and then what you learn from it, because at the time it's different from you now at this age, because we keep growing. But just I guess share one of the traumatic experiences, and then you can explain what you think about it now looking back on it.
Well, I know one traumatic experience for me in general as a kid was, I guess, like how much time I spent like alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because my parents they had got divorced like before I could even turn like one.
Mm,
So the idea of like togetherness, I never
mm-hmm.
really got to experience that. Um, and my mom, she worked a lot. So when she came home, she didn't really have much time to like bond and be affectionate and stuff. And my sisters, they was running the streets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I was alone.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time in that moment, um, I just felt like isolated and alone. And um, in therapy, they call it the abandonment wound.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's when that occurred. But as an adult, it just made me appreciate my aloneness. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly feel more comfortable when I'm by myself around people who remind me of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but on like the negative side, the way it negatively impact me is like social anxiety,
Yeah,
not really trusting being around people, um, not really feeling comfortable
yeah.
around a lot of people because I didn't grow up around a lot of people. So,
Mm-hmm. And like I said, my parents, like I say, they split. I was a little bit older, but my pop's military. They want to say PTSD, whatever the case. But he drunk, so I don't drink and smoke now because I seen it's like something with my family and the me in their blood. We get aggressive, abusive, and stuff like that. So at a young age, I knew I was gonna never drink because I was always kind of muscular or big, just genetic wise. So I knew that it was dangerous, and you can either get locked up or even worse if we actually drink like every meal. It didn't even matter. So I didn't really think too much of it now, but just my mom, same thing. You know, you're a single parent, you working, you got a couple kids out there, so you trying to work two jobs. When you come home, it's time to sleep. You know, unless you're off, and then it's you're trying to feed them, go shopping. We don't look at it as kids going through that way. We just knowing that okay, it is what it is. We're gonna be by ourselves. Older siblings, they ain't gonna be hanging with us like that because it was five of us. I don't know how many was it with y'all.
It was four,
So it's yeah, you was four. You the middle child, or the youngest.
the youngest.
So and you the baby. So it's like yeah, they got no time really for
Yeah.
you like that. They live in their own life, and you can't blame them for it. But you do
Yeah.
get comfortable for after a while of being by yourself. You know what I mean? But you also on a negative, you reach out to other people to give you that connection. So when you do find somebody, you connect with them, whether good or bad. Hanging with the wrong crowds, we see that a whole lot,
Yeah.
um, and it goes from that. So, what are you hoping or praying or wanting to achieve by sharing your traumatic experiences?
So I'm praying that not only like for my own healing,
Hmm.
but to where I can like help other
Yeah.
people who've like gone through similar situations and just make something beautiful out of it. Because I've seen like this, I seen this post on, I don't know if it was on TikTok or Facebook, but
Hmm.
it was like somebody took your situation and they won with it.
Yeah.
So ever since I seen that, it's just like I pray that something good comes out of all of this. Like I don't want to just say I went through all of this just to go through it. Like
Hmm.
I
So
want it to pay off, you
yeah,
know.
and I believe it will. I think, just going on my spiritual belief that God put certain people through certain things, whether we believe it or not, to be a testimony for others.
Right.
Whether it's them teaching, helping the others, being a counselor, a mentor, but it's an example because you see some other stories, somebody went through something, but they're not here. They didn't make it. It ended in a worst case scenario. Even though it was still traumatic, you can never downplay the traumatic or personal experience that others go through. But it's a example that it's still a grace out there. I know it can shock a lot of people's faith when they go through some certain things.
Yeah.
We can't understand it, or we can't even rationalize. I tell people we can't rationalize why God will let somebody else, you ain't do nothing. You feel like you don't deserve it. And we hear a lot of people now talking about generational curses or whatever the
Yeah.
case. But there's plenty of examples like I go through in the Bible that God, it seemed like it was a curse for a certain person, but it goes back 10 years, 20 years later, and it was a blessings for a multitude of people, thousands of people. They actually transformed or healed them. So it wasn't just about them, it was about the multitude of people. So it's like you being chose for a specific reason to carry the task because you're carrying it even though it was hurting for a while and maybe you're not all the way over it and you still need healing, but actually sharing your story and healing others will bring you closer to that healing. So I don't know. I know I asked that in it, but seeing that video, I had my own perception. Today is 2025. You think you done healed already or no? You still need some work.
Healed from the video that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in some ways, when it comes to like the guilt part of it and the
Mm-hmm.
shame part of it, yeah. But on like the trusting part, no,
Okay. And
no.
I mean, the trust that's gonna never end in battle. Okay, you see how the world is today. So as far as the guilt, can you explain why did you feel guilty
I guess
looking back
because
at it?
like it's something that my dad had already like warned me about,
Hmm.
but I was just I don't know. I just thought he was tripping.
Yeah. So what he told you, your
um,
pops.
they just told me not to go back over there. My dad, he's like extremely intuitive. Like he
Hmm.
he can see stuff way before it happens.
Hmm.
But at that time I thought he was just being, just
Protected too.
overprotective. Yeah. But they just told me not to go back over there. Um, and that the dude was like a creep. And I was like, okay.
Because how
But
old was the guy?
I couldn't hear you.
How old was the guy?
I think at that time he was like 32, 33, then it's
Mhm.
30, 35,
And you was 13,
30,
12,
30.
13? So you
Yeah.
was 13, he was 12, and you was going over there. And y'all was just hanging out. Or was it other people there too?
No, it was other people. So the background story of it, um, it was one of my niece's birthday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And my stepsister, she asked me to come over to babysit or something while she and her fiance had went. I think I don't know where they went, but yeah, I went there to babysit.
Okay, okay.
And they had came back, and I guess she just drunk too much, so she
Mm-hmm.
went to go lay down, and there just was no supervision.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you can tell on that because you was the same. You not even 5 feet. So I imagine by then you was a little shorter.
Yeah,
You was a little shorter. Did you like the guy, or you
no,
just ain't even know him?
no, that was my stepsister's. I don't know if they were about to be engaged or they were engaged, one of them. But no, there were
So
no
he
feelings.
already not even was he in a relationship. He was finna be engaged to somebody else.
Right.
Okay, and you didn't. You just ate it. You ain't say nothing for how many years?
Um, Honestly, with as intuitive as my dad is, um, that very next morning, my dad had pulled up there and he was like, "Come outside, you finna leave." So I
Mm-hmm.
got all my stuff and I got in the car and I forgot what he said, but I was like, nothing happened. And they just stared at me. I'm like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he knows that happened. So,
Yeah, he probably, intuitive. He knows something happened, but probably not to the extent. Have you ever told him the full story?
um, yeah, um,
And what was his reaction?
um, just upset. Um, I don't know, just upset. But the way it played out, though, um, he was actually lying and
Hmm.
saying that I had pushed myself on him, which
Yeah.
I know I didn't. And that's how everybody found out about it through
Hmm.
his lie. And my stepsister, she had came to me about it and she asked me what happened. And I told her, and I guess she told my dad and stuff.
And how
So
long was that between the incident and then everybody finding out? When he made up his lie, and of course he's gonna make up his lie because he don't want to seem like the guilty party. But it wouldn't matter if you started it or not. At 13 years old and 32 to 35, it's not a acceptable
yeah,
thing. You know what I mean? I know
yeah,
it seemed like today is more common, and they used to do it way back in the day, but that's just not
no,
how it's supposed to be in my perception. I know a lot of
no,
people
it's
got their
not.
own things, but it's not the old times. We're not trying to
No,
populate the earth and stuff like that. So I don't
no,
think it's a never be acceptable for a grown man to take
no,
advantage of a young lady. So everybody was mad. It came out. Was that within the first a month later, or within that time
no.
frame, or is it way?
That really, yeah, all of that was really within like a week. But by the time they could actually like get him for it and like
Mhm.
for him to go to jail, he was already heading to jail because I think he had like killed somebody.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, so that's what I was like. You never know. You did what you had to do because you just said you blanked out, right? You just
Yeah.
start thinking about you don't want nobody else to get in trouble and stuff like that. So if he already was doing heinous other crimes, if you did react, different, like I say, we never know how we're gonna react during an experience, but your body protected yourself, from whatever you was dealing with. And then later on, he got arrested. Is he still in jail currently?
I have no idea.
Okay, but at least he went to jail. If he went to jail for specifically murder, he probably still in there and never get out. And generally,
Okay.
like I said, I believe in karma, regardless
Yeah.
if they go to jail or not. I believe like it's a universal law of
Yeah.
balance. You take advantage of somebody, you do things you're supposed to. It's gonna come back around, regardless. I don't.
Yeah.
I always seen it in real time coming through. Like I said, I was talking to this guy the other day, and he was asking about definitive proof about the Holy Spirit, and we've been going back and forth for weeks. And this fella, I was like, I see you hungry for knowledge. All that I gotta do is point you to the Bible. I can't make you believe something that you don't believe. I can just share it and tell you my perception of it and what I believe because I got supernatural things that I can't explain. In your situation, nobody could. You never know how other people are gonna react, but some people don't black out. They feel everything that's going on or whatever the case, but you were spared in that aspect from your testimony that you blanked out and you were still concerned about not yourself. You know what I mean? So you know how what kind of that strength is something that is it's not natural to be that strong at that age. You know what I mean? I don't know if you looked at it that way, but you had strength beyond your physical appearance and your emotional experience during that time. But your strength is further than anybody ever else can even think or imagine. So I'm happy that the guy went to jail, justice coming through, but it ain't gonna be enough justice personally because I'm passionate about stuff like that. I had a friend, and I know what I would have did if I would have called that person, you know what I mean? That's everybody's life ruined. Because I know me, I know where I was from, but I've always used to lean on that eye for an eye, whatever, tooth for a tooth in the Bible. But God spared me from actually meeting that person. I think he ended up going to jail. But generally, when certain people do that, they are repeated offenders.
Yeah.
We don't know it, but then they be like, "Hey, this happened," um,
Yeah.
and then you find out it happened to multiple people over and over.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the case with his situation, um, or it was just a one-time thing. But generally, it's not a one-time thing. If you
Yeah.
got the courage to do that, it's that's a different ball game. Um,
Right.
so are you still in counseling?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
And do you see the benefits from it from your standpoint?
Yeah, for the most part. Um, just the main thing for me is learning to, I guess, like be more present
Mm-hmm.
and not operate from the mind of a teenager. Because I learned that whenever we experience a type of trauma at a young age, if we don't properly heal from it mentally, we're that
Mm-hmm.
same age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
just learning to, catch up to speed with my
Hmm.
age,
Yeah.
emotionally and mentally.
I mean, but shoot, looking from your age, you're only 24, and you still seem like you wise beyond your years. So I get it when it comes to like socially when they talk about you stay at that same 12-year old, you don't develop or you don't do more. But I think that is a counterbalance when you're a mother now. So it's going to
Right.
force you to grow up whether you want to or not. Now you taking care of young ones who are
Yeah.
depending on you, and you got to be there for them. So I
Yeah.
think even though I wanted a whole lot of kids and stuff like that. So, and I always believed that I wanted like a team, football team, basketball team of kids. And marriage, it wasn't. It was like okay, I get married, whatever else. So it wasn't a biblical sense in it, but it was like yeah, I do it, but I wanted kids before marriage, even though I wasn't supposed to, but I did myself. That's just my own personal thing. But I think the kids probably was a blessing, for your healing journey and stuff like that. But the forgiveness part, I know you're still working on it. I don't know what you think it'll take for you to actually fully heal. because I see you getting in there. I think it's the more talking. Um, I don't know, maybe healing somebody else, meeting the right person. Have you talked to anybody else who went through the same or similar issues?
Yeah, it's sad to say, but my sisters, they've all went through the same thing as well. So,
I was I was like, are you serious?
yeah.
Yeah, people they out there digging. I'm thinking they must have hit something. I was, it happens. I'm gonna tell you what. It was I was interviewing this lady the other day, and she went through some traumatic stuff, but she can't show her face right now. So I don't know if she's in hiding or whatever else. And you don't know, I do have a background in law enforcement, but normally on the federal side and the Department of Defense and stuff like that. But she didn't want to, show her face yet. But she's saying she's getting it almost there. She's almost ready to come out the closet, but she probably been almost hiding like 8 to 10 years. Um,
Wow.
so I can only imagine. I know she said, so she lost a boyfriend also before in the past, and she was like, it took her to a dark place that she shouldn't almost be here. So I can only imagine the other stories that's connected to her for her to be excluded from the world, but she still wants to, help the youth and stuff like that. So I just, I'm gonna give her the respect and stuff kept coming up like that. You know what I mean? Trying to block her. It's like spiritual warfare is real. Talked
Yeah.
about the same thing. People, trying to dim your light, things like that, man. I was like, the devil know, boy, when you're trying to do something good or positive, you're supposed to get attacked. So people I talk, they don't believe in that. They don't believe that you're gonna get tried. You're gonna go through stuff that don't make sense. Um, they don't believe in none of that stuff like that. But we can always keep pushing because I think it's not supposed to be easy for us. It's not supposed to. But Tennessee, man, I can't wait. I want to see what you do when if once you do get on one of these shows or a movie or start getting into the acting. It's a lot of hard work, but it's natural. Um, you can even get those roles now. You still can play a high school student, so they
Yeah.
can probably you can be in high school. What's the 'cause normally those shows? It seems like it's a high school show. It'd be like WB normally do a lot of those shows. They're
Yeah.
grown women. They might even be older than you, but they playing 16-year-old characters, 17, 18. And for
Yeah.
your height and build, how you look, I don't even know what age you still can technically play. But you can play those roles. I see it. You know what I mean? Um, who else you remind me of? What's the girl? I think she ended up directing her own movie also. It was like Big Shots or something like that. She was a actress, but she ended up directing her own movie, and I forgot the other girl name. They did the reverse, like she was the parent, and then she was the kid, but they went in each other's body. But she produced it. I don't know if it's called Big Shots, but she's short too. She brown skinned. I don't know if you know that actress I'm talking about. Y'all got to be the same.
Probably so.
She just like I think she just turned 18 and changed a little bit. Did like runway stuff, but she a black actress. What's the name of her look? I'm the big boss or something like that. But she directed her first film at 18. You know
Nice.
what I mean? I can't think of it's a girl off a scary movie who was the the other lady in there who was the boss. Or it was Haddison, the little comedian. I can't remember which one it is, but she did it at 18, and y'all around the same build. I can see it. So I don't know what's your niche is gonna be. Do you like comedy? You like more stuff serious, or it don't matter?
It don't matter. I'm all over the place. It don't matter.
So let's go. Your social media content. Which ones you normally go off of? You like the silly stuff, the enticing stuff, or the more realistic?
Um, Mostly silly, I guess, but I also like to teach people and
Mm.
uplift people and encourage people and stuff. Um, So just a mixture of stuff. But it's between silly and like spiritual.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's how mine used to be. Like I say, I did the fitness modeling and stuff like that. So it used to be either somewhat sexual, you know what I mean? Especially in shape, you got to show off, and that's the thing. But social media wasn't like it is now. You know, you thinking 4 or 5 years ago, it used to be okay. Now it's everybody half naked, but it
Yeah.
changed, and now it's like I like it and I don't like it. You know, it's like that love hate because you got to do social media to get out there.
So,
So it's good for business, it's good for networking, but it's still coming at a cost also.
all
Because
right.